Hey everyone, what's up? So, on First Take today, they really dug into the discussion about the Lakers' top scoring options, especially after that Bleacher Report ranking came out, naming Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic as the league's best big threes. But, as you might expect, a lot of fans were quick to ask, what about DeAndre Ayton? Shouldn't he be the third option instead of Austin Reeves? Well, the analysts on the show agreed it's a great question, and something worth breaking down. Personally, I've talked about this before. When the Lakers signed Ayton, I had some hopes, but also some questions. And even when it comes to Austin Reeves, I've shared my concerns that he might actually end up being the fourth option on the team, not the third. Mainly because Luka Doncic is the clear go-to guy. Luka handles the ball nearly 90% of the time, and it's his team to run, with everything flowing through him. One of the things First Take highlighted is how Luka operates with his favorite outlet being the center, who acts as a lob threat. That's the classic pick-and-roll setup where Luka uses his dribble to collapse the defense, then dumps a lob or an easy pass to his big man running the floor. We've seen it a lot with Dallas and how Jackson Hayes fit into that role last season, though teams like Minnesota found ways to disrupt it. But the key difference is that DeAndre Ayton isn't just limited to catching lobs. He's got a wider offensive skill set. You can feed him the ball in the post, and he can score in a bunch of different ways. Plus, he can pop out and shoot from 10 to 15 feet. Which opens up the floor. This versatility makes it harder for defenses to guard that Luka-Ayton pick and roll because they can't just sag off the big man. It forces teams to make tough decisions. The analysts pointed out that last year, Ayton was actually fourth in the entire NBA in pick and roll efficiency. And now, paired with Luka, who's arguably the best in the league at running that kind of offense, his ranking should only improve. You remember, the best duo last season was Jaylen Brown and Cade Cunningham, but now you get Luka and Ayton. And don't forget, Austin Reeves also stepped up his playmaking when Luka was on the bench, working in tandem with Jackson Hayes in those two-man games. Even LeBron James was mixing into those sets more than usual, creating some dynamic offensive options. Now, looking at LeBron's style, he loves to look for those weak-side corner threes and kick out to shooters, very similar to how Luka likes to operate, except Luka's favorite play is lobbing to his big man. So, there's definitely a natural synergy between the play styles of these guys. Because of all this, First Take made a strong case that DeAndre Ayton should be, and very likely will be, the third option on the Lakers. And looking ahead to the post-LeBron era, Ayton could even slide up to become the team's second option because he doesn't need plays run for him to score. He's capable of making plays on his own. Meanwhile, Luka will continue to pick apart defenses and create opportunities for everyone on the floor, making those around him look better. The show's hosts also reflected on how Ayton compares to other big men Luka has played with, guys like Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and Jackson Hayes. They agreed Ayton is the best so far, especially because of his ability to stretch the floor and be a consistent lob threat. Sure, Maxi Kleber has some similar qualities, but he's not quite at Ayton's level. They also brought up concerns about Ayton's mindset and motor, which remain a question mark. Will he stay fully engaged and buy into the team's system, or could inconsistency hold him back? Despite those concerns, the consensus was that if he can bring his best, Ayton has all the tools to be a major offensive and defensive contributor alongside Luka and the rest of the squad. So, yeah, when you're talking about the Lakers' big three, the conversation naturally leans toward LeBron, Luka, and DeAndre Ayton. Of course, there's still a lot to be determined with roles and minutes, but the potential is definitely there. All right, moving on. First Take also tackled the big question about who really makes up the Lakers' top three options on offense. The straightforward answer? LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves. Those are the three guys the team needs to figure out how to maximize and fit together. Now, Austin Reeves is expected to be the co-star alongside Luka, Once the LeBron era eventually winds down, he's likely to command a contract north of $30 million this offseason, which reflects the perception of his growth over the past couple of years, especially last season, and what he could bring going forward. But here's the thing. While many expect Reeves to be the third option, the First Take hosts pointed out that DeAndre Ayton might naturally take that spot. In fact, on many nights, Ayton could even operate as the second option. LeBron, they said, will still get his points, but will pick his spots more strategically. We've seen it the last few years, where LeBron might have a slow first half and then explode for 25 or 28 points later in the game. Luka, on the other hand, tends to dictate the pace early, making the first quarter his time. He'll aggressively go after 20 to 30 points early on, sometimes taking half of his total shots in that opening frame alone. So naturally, the dynamic could be that LeBron plays more off-ball and saves his energy for bursts later in the game. Austin Reeves might follow a similar pattern, while DeAndre Ayton could be the early punch the team needs. The host said it wouldn't surprise them at all if Ayton averages something like 12 points just in the first quarter, feeding off Luka's aggression and constant look to get him the ball inside. Over the whole game, Ayton could end up with around 18 points, with a heavy chunk coming early, when Luka is most aggressive in feeding him. Meanwhile, LeBron would play more of a catch-and-shoot, slashing role, scoring points sporadically throughout the game. When Luka sits, LeBron takes over the primary scoring role and shows the aggression we're used to seeing from him. Interestingly, First Take pointed out that Luka likes to let others eat early on, sometimes barely shooting in the first quarter, letting teammates build momentum. Then, he'll take over in spurts during the middle quarter, scoring several baskets in a row to keep the team rolling. So, looking at how these three might function together, LeBron will conserve energy, looking to the sidelines or working off Luka's playmaking during the regular season. But when he does attack, you can expect big scoring bursts, finishing with 20-plus points most game. With all this orbiting around Luka's dominant role, Ayton and Reeves are expected to slide in as complementary pieces, fitting their scoring around Luka's flow. The balance between these three will be fascinating to watch as the season progresses, especially with LeBron gradually adapting his role and Luka carrying the offensive load. Now, wrapping it up, First Take really emphasized how the offense will flow with all these pieces moving together. Guys ready to catch and shoot threes, cutting to the basket, and making the floor dynamic. They suggested Austin Reeves will likely settle more into that catch-and-shoot role at times, spacing the floor and knocking down those important triples. But here's where DeAndre Ayton really comes into his own. With the right lineups spread throughout the game, you'll see Ayton out there alongside Luka, systematically dismantling defenses. He's going to feast inside, scoring on putbacks, finishing around the rim, and capitalizing on plays Luka creates for him. First Take made it clear, this is where Ayton thrives, and that's where his impact will be most noticeable. So, don't be surprised if as the season rolls on, you check the box score and see Ayton averaging something like 15 to 18 points a night. You might even see Austin Reeves putting up similar numbers. That doesn't mean Reeves is regressing. In fact, he could be more efficient than ever. It's just that Ayton will be the go-to guy inside, scoring consistently off Luka's setups and getting a steady flow of looks. We're talking about a player who might get around 5 easy baskets per game just from plays Luka feeds him. That's a huge boost to the offense. With LeBron, Luka, Ayton, and Reeves all sharing the scoring load, it's easy to imagine this team having multiple guys averaging near or above 15 points. In fact, First Take pointed out that if last year's trend of having 3 20-point scorers continues or even improves, this Lakers roster might push that to 4 players averaging around 15 to 20 points per game. Imagine Luka putting up 30, LeBron hovering around 22 to 23, and both Ayton and Reeves contributing solid double-digit scoring nights consistently. That kind of balanced offensive attack would make them incredibly difficult to guard and would open the door to plenty of offensive creativity and efficiency. As always, This is a conversation starter, so I want to hear from you. What do you think about this projected hierarchy? Do you see Ayton really stepping into that third or even second option role? How do you feel about Reeves's evolving role? Drop your thoughts down in the comment. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to keep up with more content like this, hit that like button. It really helps out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you in the next one.